The first quote that I found in chapter 2 that I thought was important was the quote that says, "The first principle that guides communication and leadership skills in the workplace is to become aware of your communication with yourself and others." And I think the author was trying to say that it's important to know your audience and who you're talking to know how they interpret what you're saying, if there's a cultural barrier, if there's maybe a learning deficit, or if you're in a different group setting that you're normally not familiar with, it could create a problem with maybe them not knowing the different acronyms or different jargon that you're using. So you need to just be aware of your audience and how well they know the information that you're giving. The other the other quote that I thought was important is in 2.3, where it talks about organizational culture is the learned pattern of beliefs, values, assumptions, rules, and norms that are shared by the people of an organization. And I think this is important that they're trying to say is know your audience, know who you're with. So if you go into a new facility or a new workplace, you need to know how they operate, what they do, what is okay and what's not okay in the form of communication. Some organizations, they're more laid back, some are more by the book, and the author's just saying to know who you're dealing with and how they operate before you go in and try to communicate with them. For chapter 14, the two quotes that I found important, the first one is in section 14.1.3 under the technology and communication at work. And it's the effects of growing up in an increasingly digital world can be seen in the new generation of young people, and they are not all good. This to me is the author's trying to get that maybe sometimes being too much media savvy or technology savvy is you're losing some skills that you were taught at a younger age when cell phones and tablets and laptops and stuff weren't as relevant, or that everybody wasn't using. It seems to me like nowadays that kids have to constantly be doing something or entertained by something. They can't just sit and relax. The second quote in chapter 14 is in 14.2, and it's, "As the workplace becomes increasingly media saturated, we cannot ignore the importance of remaining professional and effective in our use of mediated communication." And to me, the author's saying, don't get too comfortable with just using text or emails, or you need to still hone in on your skills of face-to-face communication, memo writing, business letter writing. Don't lose those skills just because everything now is easier to text or to send an email.